Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today we'll be talking about the World Endurance Championship. The World Endurance Championship is an auto racing championship organized by Automobilia Club de l'Ouest, who are the creators and organizers of the Le Mans 24-hour. The series supersedes the ACO's former Intercontinental Le Mans Cup, which began in 2010 and is the first endurance series of the World Championship status since the demise of the World Sports Car Championship at the end of 1992. The WEC not only pushes cars and drivers to the limits in terms of speed, but also the driver's stamina and the car's reliability in the race. The series features multiple classes of cars competing in endurance race, which makes the race very diverse. There are also 3 drivers per car and almost 60 cars in total. All of the classes run at the same time, making it one big race. There is an outright winner and a winner for each class. And now we're gonna jump into the different classes in the WEC race. The cars themselves are very different to each other, with sports prototypes such as the Hypercar and the LMP2 categories, and production-based Grand Tourers competing in the LM, GTE Pro and AM categories. And first we're going to be talking about the Hypercar. The new 2021 Hypercar class is the top-tier category. Replaced by its predecessor LMP1 cars, Hypercar is centered on the latest generation of hypercars developed and produced by major manufacturers. There is significant freedom in the rules and plenty of creative scope for manufacturers. This makes it possible to create very distinctive racing cars. Current hypercars are Toyota, Glickenhaus, and Peugeot. For the LMP2 cars, there are also closed cockpit cars that are made for endurance racing, similar to the LMP1. The LMP2 teams are independent of any car manufacturers, which means that they don't make the engines themselves. Many cars are similar in this class since they don't have the freedom that LMP1 or hypercars have due to the regulations. All LMP2 cars use the same 4.2 V8 engine, which produces 600 horsepower. LMP2 cars are generally slower than LMP cars. However, it is possible for the top LMP2 cars to beat the LMP or hypercars. Moving on to the GTE Pro. The GTE Pro teams are all manufacturers' teams, unlike LMP2 cars. The GTE are touring cars that have to be based on road legal production cars that have a minimum number produced per year to qualify. For example, Porsche's car is based on the 911. Engines used must be the same ones found in the production cars. The cars must have yellow headlights to distinguish them from the prototype class at night. These cars are naturally much slower. And now lastly, the GTE AM. This class is very similar to GTE Pro, however, there are a few key differences. While the GTE Pro teams are car manufacturer teams, the GTE AM class consists of private teams that use cars from the manufacturers. The main difference is that the GTE AM cars are the GTE Pro cars from the previous year of racing. GTE AM must use lower graded drivers. Moving on to another important factor of the race is pit stops. Since the races are so long, Cars make many pit stops during the race. Some pit stops can be short and quick. Some last for a while depending on what needs to be changed, such as the driver, tires, the brakes, clean the car, and even replace broken parts of the car. Moving on to the WEC 2022 calendar, WEC races are not as many races as you would expect to other championships because there is only a few races through the whole year, but each race is extremely challenging since the duration of the race is very long compared to normal races. Each race is a few hours long except the Le Mans 24. It is because of the 24 hours long race, and it's a very popular event that takes part during the month of June, which is coming up this summer. All in all, I hope you enjoyed my brief description about the WEC Championship, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe, and let me know your comments